Okay, so good evening, everyone. Uh, Trust that we had a wonderful evening. I know it's Friday, so I'm sure most people are just coming back from work and probably don't have. So I just hope more people will join anyway. So just go straight ahead into today's class. So where is my power? Yeah, okay, I have it somewhere here. Okay, good. So here is my. Okay, I think there's a bit of lag with my voice, but I think we'll manage. So, good evening, everyone. So, Power BI is here. Um, so I think in the last two classes, we just basically went through like Power BI, working with Power BI, having an overview of what Power BI is majorly used for. It's where it's more versatile, right? And we looked into so in the last class specifically we created we just had to do some a little bit of creation like walking through Power BI itself. So I think we have the file here. Sorry, is it? Can I not save it? Oh, okay, yeah, I did class one. Don't know if I should be dropping the Power BI file too. Ah, it might make us lazy, so I might think about it. Might not eventually drop it. So just want to open this to see what we did. So basically, we imported just a data set, and we tried to just create a simple chart with it, right? And I think along the line we had to do some transformation, but we'll go in a bit. We'll go into that properly. I don't know why this took. Is it took time? Okay. So okay, here it's. I don't know why it's slow. That's strange. But anyways, so this was what we basically, I think we did more than this. Did we? Oh yeah. So this was basically just creating simple charts. Of course, these are not the best of charts. You could do this in Excel, right? But we would go into it and see how much more, much just the possibilities of Power BI itself, right? So basically that's just a recap from last class. Then before we go into today's class, so I have two things that I is it two? Basically like two in one that I want us to discuss. And their concepts. One of them is called distinct, and one of them is called unique. So I'm sure we are familiar with distinct. When we use distinct in SQL, so when you call distinct, something happens, right? So is there any difference between distinct and unique? I need a input to that. Kingsley, I can't even see who's on the student score. It's not going to be easy for me, but I think I'll manage. Where is it? Let me bring it here. So, does anybody want to try the difference between distinct and unique? Anybody? Okay. Huh.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, the question is, what is there any difference between distinct and unique? So if it's yes, then you can explain. If it's no, then okay, fine.
Distinct, I believe it will be that which separates. I don't know how to explain it. A special feature that makes it stand out, and
Okay.
there is a difference. Unique is I don't know how to put it, but I believe I'm not sure, but distinct that special thing, unique something that will make it
All
work
right.
better or something.
Yeah, I think you really tried. So, does anybody want to try? Anybody?
I think they are different. Unique is Unique is something that stands out, doesn't have any similarity with other things. But this thing, it may have similarities, but something is standing out. Something there's something that is differentiating it from those other things.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what's the difference? They're actually different. They're not the same thing. Um, so to explain it better, I'll just use an example, right? So, in this class currently, there's Kingsley, there's Tito, there's Chinere, there's Abdurrashid, and there's me, Botemi. Um, we are all unique, right? Our names are unique because our names are not reoccurring. They are that's just a single appearance, right? The fact that my name is Botemi, there's no other Botemi. That means I am unique. Chinwe is unique because there's no other person in this class that has a name. So that's an example of unique, just to put it. So it means like one that thing that makes you different from every other thing. So you are the only one with that feature. Now, distinct is probably now you can say male and female. So male and female are two distinct things, right? We have two males and we have three. Oh, we now have two males and two females, right? So that's like the instinct. So it's like that thing is repeating, but it's not a single feature. It's something that can be grouped, right? I can group it. We can group this class uh into male and female. That's a distinct feature. But a unique feature is, for instance, the name. My name is distinct. The fact that my first name and my surname is there, it makes it more unique, right? So of course I've seen an instance where I met someone. Okay, for instance, my cousin, he has my son. We both bear the same surname. We both have the same first name, and the third name, the initial of our third name is also the same thing. So in an instance where we find ourselves in the same place, we are in trouble because we don't even know who they are referring to. So in that situation now, I could say that me and that cousin of mine, we are no longer unique. Although we might be distinct when we are in a crowd, but we are no longer unique. The fact that he's there means that I'm no longer unique. But if he's not there, then I'm unique. So I don't know if that explains. So unique is something that stands out. It has no other occurrence. It's just one. Why distinct means that there can be multiple occurrence, but it's not. It can be grouped. Let me put it that way. So that should clear up um, the difference between distinct and unique. So let's go back to um, Power BI. So basically, we looked into getting. Sorry, I don't want to use this. Close this. This was what we did last class. Nope. Remove the files. Yep. Okay. Okay. So in the last class, we looked into like getting data. Yeah. Although we didn't explore, we'll get to do that today. So like there are different. I mentioned that there are several ways of bringing your data into Power BI, right? We looked at this. Although I didn't check this, you can pick it as files. I think I've worked with packets. Yeah. There are different formats. There's database too, and we have worked with MySQL, so you can see MySQL database here. I think someone has access to Oracle. There's Oracle, there's SQL, there's Postgres. You can see. So there are various connections. There's Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric is a Microsoft platform anyways that has a lot of tools. It's like only one. Let me put it that way. For companies, you can do that. There's Power Platforms. I don't know if there's anyone that works with Power Platforms here. There's also Azure, right? Um, there's online service, so you can connect to online service. I can even see GitHub here, though I've not used this. but I know there's a sites data world, there's Google Analytics, then the last one is other categories. So here there are different things like other categories that are not categorized, they are not under this category. Now the amazing one that I saw here is web, so you can actually connect to the web. Okay, it's supposed to be, I can't see, okay, yeah, this is web, so I can connect to the web, right, basically. Okay, maybe I'll talk about it after the class. There's something I just want to bring to us, but I'll mention it after the class. It's an upcoming conference. I'll just put it down my notepad so I'll not forget. So basically there are several ways to connect your data, to collect data into this. So I'm just going to show us a demo, a simple demo. I'll use web. So let's go online. Let's check. So for instance, now let's say there's, okay, I think we did something around in the first class. There was a COVID-19 and data. Let me see, Nigeria. Okay, so let's open something like this. Okay, so now look at these are data. This is data, like this is not like data, but this is like informations, right? And if you look through it, we have some amazing things here. You can see this is dates, these like cases, this is like number of deaths, right? These are graphs. Let me see, is that all? Okay, yeah, then this is also a table. So let's explore the several ways we can bring data in. So I think one of them here, if I cancel this, if I check this, so we have import, we have paste data into a blank table. Not try this, but actually this was not what I was looking into. But let's see. Sorry, I can't do that. I can only select. So let's try and copy this now. We already know the different format of type. We know about Excel, we know about CSV. So let me see, is this copying? No, it's not copying. Okay, now it's copying. I don't want to copy the top, I just want to copy this part. Okay, still doing anyways. So let's say I just want to do this, something as simple as this, right? Still looks I think Control C should work. Please work. Then I come here. Let me see, edit. Come on. Okay. So I'm not sure I should start talking about this, but this is Power Query. So this is what I actually wanted to go through today. I hope I think we should have enough time. So what I wanted to actually do is Power Query, but in a bit, just follow me. Hold on. Will this work? If I paste everything, nah, it's not going to work. I mean, put. Oh yeah. Okay, so what I did was let me see, create your table will be lost. Yes, I want to exit, discard changes, discard. So paste data into a blank table. So what I did, I copied from what I copied, and I selected this and Control V, and here we go, right? So everything came in. So all I did was just copy and I paste. That's all. I went to that site, saw what I wanted, and I liked it, and I copied it and pasted it. Then okay, so I'm sure there was a point in time where we talked about ETL. So let me remind you what ETL means. ETL means extract, load, and transform. It's a process it's a term in data that most of the data engineers work with. In fact, all data engineers work with. But it's something we also can work with. It's just that we can remove the extract parts, right? So basically the extract we are doing is still, we are going to just copy and paste. So when we copy it, then we paste it here, we've extracted the data. Now we want to transform it, right? Because we need to remove all of these things, remove this, make this the header, then load it into Power BI itself, right? You need to understand that Power BI is a visualization tool. All you need to do is connect your data to it and start creating. But there are some instances where you might not actually, for instance, you might not need to take your, I explained that in last class, you might not need to take your data through Excel first. There are some instances where you might not even need to take your data through SQL. You can just go ahead, fetch it, and start your analysis, right? So those are some instances. So if I go straight and just load this, right? So it's loading, is coming in. So you can see 40 rows loaded. Sorry, let me just close and apply. Now if I come to table view, I should see it here. So you can see that the data is now here. So if I go back, I can start doing my visualization. You can see the table here, of course. Everything is here. But you can see it's not structured. There are still some things that are not in place, which takes me to table view. Basically, not just table, right? So this is the data itself. You can see this, we don't need this actually. We need to do this, we need to change a lot of things here, right? So that takes me to what we refer to as Power Query. So Power Query is a tool inside, when you install Power BI, everything comes in place. So when you install it, you can by that transform your data. Now you're asking, why do I need to transform? I just gave an instance where you practically can just take your data from the web and bring it straight. You might not necessarily need to pass that same data through Excel. You might not need to do that. So you can just bring it straight into this place. Now, this Power BI now gives you the opportunity to transform your data inside Power BI using that tool, and it does it efficiently. Like, you're really going to love it. So I think normally it's supposed to be here. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. Transform data. But I think there's a shortcut. What I usually do sometimes, I'm not saying, I can come here, can just see edit query, right? So all these are queries. These tables, they are seen as queries. They are not the query in Power BI is not the same as query in SQL. SQL queries, you write queries, right? But here the queries are seen like more of like tables. Let me put it that way. So you can transform the data. So we just transform data, and this brings us into this beautiful tool. I really call it beautiful because by the time we are done with this, you are going to hate Excel. You are practically going to dislike it. So this is Power Query, um, where you actually transform your data into whatever you want to do with just clicks, with just drag and drop. So the formula, everything is done automatically for you. You don't need to type any formula. For instance, now this is a formula we are seeing up here, but we didn't type it. We did not add to do anything to actually get this table. So the data we just picked, the COVID-19 data. Is this working? Okay, just want to be sure. Okay, good. So we're looking at this. So up here we have different things. We have a lot of functions, a lot of things that we can be overwhelmed with. There's a transform tab where you can do a lot of things, but let's just go little by little. So first thing first, we don't like what we actually came here to do is we want to remove some things, right? You are looking at this, so you can see ABC blank, ABC blank, ABC blank, ABC blank. So most likely everything will be ABC blank. Yeah. So we want to remove we want to clean it up. So for instance now, let me see, we want to delete this. So I can use remove rows to remove it because I don't need it. So I'm not even using, I'm not typing. So in case my keyboard is practically going to be useless. So for instance now, okay, maybe if I need to type something, sure. So remove rows, I can just remove this row and uh, remove top row. So which row am I removing? I'm removing the first one. That's okay. So I've removed it. It's gone, just like that. Now you can see that here, this particular tab, it shows us all the steps that we are applying. So for instance, if you have applied a lot of things, you're going to see the process. You're going to see the process here, right? That's actually the point of this part. Then these properties, this query settings, then this is actually the main part. So let's just go. And so another thing we want to do now is we want to change our headers. So here you can see use role as headers. First row, use first row as headers. All you have to do, just click on this and our data has changed automatically. So here we have states, you can see cases, active, recovered, deaths. Our data has been transformed into the table, the desired table that we want easily. Now this is total. I don't even think we need this. We can do that ourselves. So what we can do is we can remove last row. So for instance, remove rows, remove bottom row, specify how many rows to remove from the bottom, just one. And let's look at it. You can see it's gone. The last one is gone, just like that. So you have cases. You can see now this thing has changed to 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 and ABC. So that shows us the format of our data, the data type itself easily. Now you can also see the filters you have in Excel. You can do it here, right? You can see the range. You can sort it in ascending, you can sort in descending. Basically, so we have our data now, so we can decide to go and do some exploration because there's not really anything much to do here. But mind you, I'm seeing something already. For instance, now see Kano have space. How do I know there's space? Because I don't know if you can see it, but if you can just look closely, you find out that Kano have a space, Oshun has a space, Gombe has a space, Anambra has a space. So to do that, you can just right click. Okay, if you don't want to right click, right, you can come to transform. I think in transform, there's somewhere. Let me see. It's not view. I don't want to go there yet. Let me see. It's not yet. It's supposed to be here. Okay, I think it's formats. Yes. So you can see it's trim. So when you trim, it's to remove white spaces. This is Excel. Click on it and it's all gone. That's all. Now I'm going to if I want to now undo that step, I can just click on this and it's gone. Right? If I bring it back, format, trim. So I brought it back. Okay, I think okay, look at this bottom rows now. I can decide to click on it and edit it. You can see this setting sign. So I can decide to change something, but right, that's if you want to undo, go back steps, remove a particular thing. For instance, now if I remove this top row, delete step, it could cause my query to break, and let it break. That's broken. Oh. The column state was not found. So I think I had to do with this and this. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it was the last one that we did. So I think I'll have to go back and take these steps again. So which one? I think the first row, use first row as headers. Home. Okay, yeah, first row is back. Then I think the next one we did was we removed the last one. That's remove rows, remove bottom rows by what? One. Okay. and that's gone. Then we trimmed, right? So the other way to trim is you can just right click, then transform and trim. So you can see here you can change type, remove errors, remove duplicates, you can do a lot of things, you can group by, you can split column, but what we are interested is in, we want to trim. So let's trim. So you can see that it has now been trimmed. Everything has been trimmed. This is actually back now. So let me now say, so what else can we do? I think we are practically done. You can even see some zero, like active cases. Okay, these are the total number of cases. These are the active cases. This is the recovered cases, and this is the death case. So in a situation where there's no active case, means that they're actually free, they have recovered, and they have death. So we can do something on this, but let's go back. So what I just wanted to show us was that when you are done, you can now go ahead to do close and apply. So it will close it and apply what you have done to the table. So you can now see that everything has now changed. So if you look here now, you have active cases, deaths, recovered, and you have states. If you come back to the reports view, you are going to see that it has now changed. So you can actually do something with this. Now let me get another data. So the point was we wanted to even get from the web, right? That was when we got distracted and we did that. Let me see. So I'm going to close this. I try to open another instance. Don't save. I don't need you to save. So now let's go back and open Power BI. I think I should pin it down. This is it. I shouldn't have to do that, but I do have to. Okay, let it come up into taskbar. So I have it now automatically here. Good. So I actually need to see the front view. Yeah, so we can now let's try the other way. That was just copying and pasting. Now let me try to get from web. That was what I actually wanted to show us, getting from the web. So all you need to do is just get the link. Come on. So you get the link. So we have the link here. This link, Control C. Then come back to Power BI and paste and OK. Now it's saying use anonymous to access this, which level. Yes, the Wikipedia. We don't really need to do much, just I think this would do. Then connect. So Power BI is trying to get information from the, so for this you need internet. Of course I'm connected to internet. My server is, my Windows installation is currently on the web, so I'm automatically, normally you should not need to connect, but because I'm connecting to the web I have to do this. Now Power BI, what Power BI has done now, it has tried to extract things that it feels like should be table. So let's see. If I click on this now, this is like a table, but we don't really, this is not what we need, right? If you check this is not what we need. So I'm figuring that all these are not what we need, and it should be this, right? So you can see column 1 cases, you can scroll to see the details. So what Power BI has done here, it has gone through that site, looked at it, then scraped data from it automatically, right? We don't need to do much, although there are a lot of things, a lot of tables that we don't actually even need, right? But we can even see the one that we need easily. It's being labeled. Though I think I've not tried it. Okay, we can see the verb view, but we don't need this. So now the next thing to do is load this. Now you can transform or load, but I want us to do load, right? So we want to load it straight into Power BI. It's loading. Still loading. Yeah, it's done. So now this has successfully loaded the data. So you can come to table view now. Hold on. Yeah, so you can now see the data, but this time around you have more things. You didn't, these are not what you saw. You saw just few things. You have a lot of columns here. So now we need to remove all those things, right? So what we need to do is just simple. Come to transform and transform your data. We are back to Power Query. So Power Query is going to be like our next, let me see, after, let's just say our very close, one of the closest to one of the tools we are going to be using a lot, right, for just editing and all of that. So now you can see the issue we have with states that we had Edo, one of those things having spaces, it's not here, it's not occurring here. That's one of the advantage of that, but those things can be easily removed. Now real quick, we can just click this, it changes, remove the issue with headers, right? It corrects it, but now it's not bringing numbers, it's just bringing texts. And if you look at our data, we have columns that we don't even need. So where is this coming from? You can just click on this to see a view, just highlights. You know you're supposed to have 36 ticks. Now somewhere you are seeing notes data as of 30 March, da 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 da. Now if you look at this, now, one thing you can do now is, let's just unselect all, then come down here, notes, then okay. So that way we've seen what happened. So you can see that this is what actually splitted into the rest of the column. So what we can do is we can just drop it, we don't need it, right? But let's go back to select all. So we know that we are going to remove it, and this is it here, down here. So you have to do just remove rows, remove bottom rows, and remove one. So it's gone, just like that. So now we also have total, we don't need it. So rather than do that, I know that I want those two things gone. So I'll just do remove rows, remove bottom rows, specify how many rows from the bottom. So you can see the last thing now is Kogi. Now we now have the issue of text. These are seeing these as texts. So you can see all of these are text. So one thing you can now do is you can change the type. We want it in numbers, right? So you can see change type here, change to what, let's say all numbers. Can you see now it has done that for us automatically? So I just have to do the rest. I think I should be able to apply this, then transform, no sorry, change type, all number, that's changed it. Okay, then dates is the last one that needs to be changed. Change type to all number. Good, that's all done now. Now the next thing now is we have redundant column that we don't need. What do? We just remove them straight up. So I can decide to do this now. To select everything, to select like hold something, so I can do, if I hold control, I can actually pick the ones I want. But if I hold shift to select everything from start to finish. So if I click this and I'll go ahead to click the last one, I'll hold shift now and click. So you can see that it has done. So the way I did it, let me explain it again. So I clicked on this, my hand was not even on shift. I just my hand is off the keyboard now. When I scroll down here, before I click this, I'll hold shift and click. So what will happen is it's going to see a start position and we'll see this as an end position. So if I hold shift and click, that's what's going to happen. It will highlight everything. Then I can remove columns with this and click remove columns and it's gone. So now I have the data that the correct data that I want to use. Like this is much more cleaned. I can see the states, I can see the cases, I can see recovery, right? And when we are done, close and apply. Then Power BI will apply the changes automatically. Right now you can see everything now. So if you check here, you can see what we have here. And back to this, back to our visuals, you are going to see data right here. So you can now go ahead and try to create do something simple with this, right? So that's like from the web, just getting data from the web. So you can actually explore other sources easily and without any stress at all. This Power BI is here to make your life much very easy. So let's go about that. So I think I'm done. I don't need to work with this data again. So let me see. So new. So now okay, do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions for me? I think I can use this. Okay, we saying okay, Tito.
Yes, okay. You have showed us how to drop rows from the top, from the bottom. So what we have probably in the alternate rows to drop in the
Okay,
middle, even maybe more than one.
yeah. So if you have alternate, I thought we saw it. Okay, so you can see here, remove top, remove bottom, remove alternate rows. So you can use this. Then you can also
Okay.
remove duplicates. If you have duplicate data, for instance, let's say Abia is appearing like the whole rule, Abia, the same cases, the same active is appearing 2 times. You can remove. You can also remove blank rows. For instance, if you have blank, then errors. What these errors actually means is that they can be errors. So for instance, where let's say a situation, okay, if there was a text in this data now, if there was Abia somewhere, so let's say there's a text inside this data, in the middle of this data. If I convert this data to numbers, it's not going to, the text is not going to be able to convert to numbers because initially it's not numbers. So it's going to be seen as an error. We'll get to see that shortly. You get to see that we are going to work with another data that is way more of like I can call it a raw data, right? And we'll get to see more. We'll get to go from there. But that's basically it. Like if you need to remove alternate rows, so you can just do that and remove rows. There's keep rows. So for instance, you want to keep a set of rows and remove the rest. So let's say you have 8,000 rows and you just need like 100. So you can keep the 100 and remove the rest. So you have remote. This one I said remote. Remove columns too. You can remove columns. You can choose columns. Probably want to do something on a particular column. So go into that real quick. So I'm just going to close this and apply back. I'm just close. So I didn't do anything here. So there's nothing to apply, right? Okay, I think I've opened another one. Good. So let's now get a data. So there's a data set that I have. I added it to the data sets folder today. It's data professional survey. Is in XLX. That's Excel. So Power BI actually distinguish between Excel and CSV. So if I have a CSV file and I want to import it, I cannot use Excel. Excel will book we only see Excel. Let me see in the folder. Power BI. Come on, data sets. Okay, I think I have CSV here. Good. So let me open import data from Excel. Now let's go into that folder, that same folder. So here you're not going to see any CSV file. If you remember, there was a particular CSV file. This data, there's food prices CSV file. But here we are not seeing any CSV file because Power BI is saying that, oh, this time I want to do, you can see here the extension choosing is just, so I think you can't even change it from it. It doesn't allow you to change it. So you can't do that. So if you want to bring it from Excel, CSV, you have to use CSV instead. So you can see text or CSV. So it's when you do use this instead, you would see only the CSV or text file. You're never going to see, oh, I clicked that. Ouch, I shouldn't. So you're not even going to see the Excel file. So what we want to do now is we want to bring in an Excel file, which is a data professional survey. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so it has only one table, right? So I'm clicking on it. You can see now this is the table, and the data in the preview has been truncated. Yeah, so it has been trimmed to just the top. I think this is like top 10 or 15 or 20. So this is the top 10. So we're just going to go straight into transform. So usually what we do is we first load it, right? But you can actually go into transform. I just wanted to show us what happens when you load straight, right? So here it is. I'm loading this straight. So I've loaded it straight into I've went straight into transform. So definitely it's taking me to Power Query. So if I just decide like, oh, I'm done here, I just want to close and apply, and it's going to apply the changes, then load data, and yes, so it has loaded and the data is now here. So if you come to table, come on, click on this. So if you come to table now, you are going to see it. I think it's loading. Okay, yeah, here it is. So you are going to see the table itself, right? And of course we still need to work on it. We still need to, okay, you can be like, why do I need to work on it? You just want to confirm and be sure that if you know that your data is okay, you might not need to use Power Query. But if your data needs help, let me put it that way. If your data set needs help, right, needs surgical operation, you need to bring it to Power Query. Power Query will do it easy. So it's like there's data sets now, and they are saying either you take paracetamol to solve your issue, or you go into surgery. So going into using Excel and all of that is like going into surgery compared to Power BI. Power BI is like take paracetamol and everything is done. So you can actually just see. So here we can see that we have a lot of things here. We don't even know what to do. If you check your email here, you can see email is just anonymous, so there's only one type of data in it. Here we have Friday, June 10, 2020. So that's like the dates. It's a lot. You can't do anything with this. So yeah, same browsers. Okay. Now this is something. This is a blank column. I don't want to take this into Power BI, right? I don't want to take into my visualization. This is OS operating system. What's operating system is this? For instance, now most of us use Windows. I personally use Linux. There's also Mac. That's for MacBook users. Then the City is supposed to contain something, but unfortunately it's empty. So you can see that these are things that we need to work on basically. So if you go for that, you see Q1, Q2, Q3. We don't need this as our column name. If you scroll down here, you can see Q Q Q Q Q Q. We need to change this. This is where Power Query comes in. You now get to edit things, you get to do things easily. And so I'll come back to home and transform. So now we are here. So sorry, just give me 1 second. All right, so now we are here. Um, Power query. So now what do we even want to do? We want to just check out. We've seen a few things that we can do, right? Now before we go into that, there are three things I want to actually make us understand to see. So there's somewhere here view. Now in this part we have there's column quality, column distribution, and column profile. They are really awesome tools that you should get to work with. So I'm going to check this. I'm going to start from column quality. So what does column quality do? What does it really do? So I think you can just close this, right? So now what does column quality actually do? So column quality actually reviews, it's true that you can easily see what the few things about your data. For instance, you can see that 100% valid, 0% error, 0% empty. So you're getting an insight into what your data looks like, right? And you can actually do some things about. We're not going to do that. So valid, it means that there's no errors. I mentioned what an error should look like. There's no error here. Is not empty, and it is actually valid. Like, and so if you look at this, so that's basically you can just get an insight straight into what your data is. So you don't really need to really do much. You can just see. I think if you check everything is okay. Here we are seeing 1% empty. That's we have an empty data. We have empty here. So it's probably like blanks. Probably the users didn't fill. So I think if you check this filter, you're going to see null. That's a blank. So that's basically something that column quality gives you. It lets you see what your data actually looks like. Then when you check on column profile, so with column profile now you can go depth. It's giving like an in-depth into your data. So for instance, now if you look at this, remember when we discussed distinct and unique. So distinct is something that's is appearing. It's not a single instance. There are multiple instances of it. Why unique is that is the only instance of it. That's what it's differentiated from every other thing. It has a feature that differentiates from every other thing. So you can see here now we have 630 distinct rows and 630 unique rows. So it means that all of them are distinct. Of course, you are seeing unique ID. I think when we're working with SQL, I don't know if I mentioned something about UUID or basically like an ID. What an ID does is uniquely identify a row. So all of these are unique. This unique ID uniquely identify each row. So they are probably going to be like probably Gmails that are being encoded, right? They've been converted into an ID. Let's just put it that way. Let's go into the technicalities. So you can see the count 630 errors empty. So you can basically see it basically just gives you insight into this. So if you check email now, come on. Now you can see email. You have just one anonymous, just one distinct, but it's not unique because it's appearing multiple times, and the count is what 630. If you check date time, this time you can see the dates now. See the minimum dates, the maximum dates, the average dates, unique dates. There are two dates that's the only time they occur. Then there's 16 distinct ones. So if you check these two, you get to see something like that, right? You see 323 unique instance, then 453 distinct. Okay, hold on. What's going on? Network. What's this? What's this? What's going on? That was so sudden. Okay, it's back. Okay, happens once in a while. So this is basically that's the and this is a graph just showing the distribution, right? So I'm going to uncheck this now. Okay, now this is serious. I have to look into this. Sorry, let me see. What's going on? Okay, it's like his back. It's like network is fluctuating. Uh, I, this network is. I think the rain actually slowed down the network today. Okay, so I actually want to remove it and check this. Come on. Nah, network is worse. I actually explain that if my internet is not that fast, it's not fast enough, I won't get to have a wonderful experience. Okay, I think it's okay. Hold on. Um, am I back into this data? Yes, I can check this now. Yes, okay, good. So now I'm back on point. So now the last one is column distribution. So column distribution, you can actually go straight. You can just see a distribution of the data, what I have here. So here you can see anonymous, but I think you wouldn't. Now looking at something like this, you can see this is which title first best fits your role. You can see the way this is now. You can see this top one, right? It's coming up like this. So that's when you now do column profile. You can see. Oh, I'm sorry. You can now see. You can see a graph, a simple graph, something very nice, right? Um, it's a visualization too, so they will use visualization to finish somebody. So basically, it shows you the distribution just basically gives you an insight. All of this, that's what it does. You just see straight into, so you don't really need to really do much. You don't need to start checking the rules one by one or after the other. So I'm just going to take them out now. Let me leave this. Something is white space. So now that's what I tried wanted to show us. Now we still need to do a few things. We need to, for instance, now unique ID. We don't need unique ID. We're not going to need unique ID for our analysis, basically. So it's one of the things we can just drop. So we are going to go straight into editing, just working with this data now. So I'm just going to drop this. So I want to drop this. So I'm going to use remove column. So it's gone. I don't need it, of course. Anonymous email. I don't need it. It's not something I want to deal with. Let me see. View. I think actually needs the history tab. Oh, I dropped it already. Hey. Actually wants to bring it back, but I need. She's usually somewhere around here. Uh, no problem. We can still work with it. So what I actually wanted to do was, let's undo. So since that didn't work, and let's bring it back, but let's just let's let it go. So we can just move forward. So what I want to do next is we want to look straight into data. So you can see these ABC emails. Here we have date taking, America, New York, um, and it's in calendar. You can see this is more of like a calendar compared to this. This is a clock. So this is more of like a time. We are seeing that it's letting you know that, oh, it's a time. So automatically it has actually detected that this is a time and this is a date. So we have date time data. So in that situation, we might need to split, although we don't have a date time here, so we don't necessarily need that. So here we have browsers. We don't need this. We don't need, because it's really empty. So we can't do anything with an empty data. OS is empty. City is empty. country 2 is empty, referral 2 is empty, so we can actually just remove. I want to have everything in view, so I'm going to do the same thing. I have it there, so if I hold shift and click on this, it just take everything together, and I can remove columns. So you can see now that it's gone, just like that. Now let's now go into this. I hope we'll be able to finish. So looking at this now, we have Q1. You can see we have, if you check, you will see that we have a lot of things here. There's data analyst, data architect, data engineer, data scientist, database developer, and others. The others now have some other things. You can see others, analysts, analysts, analytical engineer, analysis manager, BI. You can see all of that. Now, all of these are under others. Then we have students looking at none or none. So what can we do? We need to transform this because we can't take this into. So first of all, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to first of all change this. So I double clicked and I'm just going to change it to current row. Current role. Okay, let's just do it like this. I'm just going to change the current row and enter. So it's now current row. It's now seeing it as current row. Now we need to find a way to remove the ones that are having others. Find a way to just take it off. Now what we can do now is we can decide that everything that is showing order, we want to rename it as others. Everything we want to rename it as others, so they fall under the category of others. Now how can we do about that? There is so it is called transform. So we basically want to transform this column, right? We are not splitting, we just want to transform it. So you come to transform here. Now there's several things here, right? But basically what we actually want to do is we want to, it's not even transform, it's additional column. Yes, we want to create a conditional, another column. It's more of like the conditionals that we have been working with. So the way it's going to work is we are going to pick something. If the particular value have others in it, change it to others, else leave it as it is. So this is where we do it, conditional column. So now we have to put the column name. So we already choose current row, but I'm going to put current role and put current role edited. So I'm going to leave it like this, right? So now the column that I want to change, which column am I changing? That's current row. Can see how it is. Operator, what do I want to do? What I actually want to do is contain. I'm going to use contains, so that if there's that word in it, right, change it. Now enter a value. Right here I'm going to select a column and I'm going to choose the column that I want, which is this current row. So it's going to like column name. In this column name contains, if this column name contains, if this column name contains something, so I'm supposed to put something here. If this column name contains this, so if it contains others, or if it contains order, then output is going to be what? Others. So if this column contains this value, then change it to what? Others. So anywhere the words this appears in that particular column is going to change everything to this. Now what if it does not appear? That's where this else now comes in. So the else now says that, so I'm going to select this column. Of course it's in value, so it means that if I choose else, I'm supposed to put something like maybe okay, let's see what it does. So if I put else, I just put else rule, and just put rule, right? And okay, So what has happened here is we now have this, but this is not what we wanted to do. If you check this, you are going to see role, but this is not actually what we wanted to do. So we are going to just take this down back, uh, remove the column, then we go back to, I think that's question 1, so it should be somewhere around here. Current row, good. So back to this, select it, add column, add conditional column, the column name that we are, okay, the new column name, let's say current row edited, then the column name that we are dealing with, this is current row. The operators is what contain, so if it contains that value. So wait, I think, let me check, hold on. So the order here is capital O-T-H-E-R, very careful, it's actually case sensitive. So back to this, just kind of put this word current, current role edited. I'm going to actually rename this. I'm supposed to do this current role, but because I already have current role here, then contains, then ABC, yes, enter a value. If it contains order, then change it to what orders. Then and I want to select a column. So if it's not that, then just return what you have, what is in that column. Then I use okay. So now what has happened now is sorry, my voice has changed. Sorry about that. So what has happened now is that the ones that had columns that had orders in it, for instance orders and da 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 da, has now been changed to just order. So if I click on this now, you are now seeing just data analyst, architect, engineer, science, database, and others and student looking on. So the other ones are now gone. So I can just come back here. Where is it? Current rule, and drop this column. So to do that, I'll just go back and drop, remove. So we are done. That's all. So did you switch careers into data? We need to rename that because you can see just yes and no, but we need to rename this. So it's going to be like career change, career switch, career change, career switch. Let's use career switch. So I've renamed this to career switch. So basically, we'll come back to this. Let's look at something else. This one is the current yearly salary, and it's in range. If you check it, it's like from this to this. So let's just come back to this. Then what industry do you work in? That's the particular industry they work in. So here you can see the same thing is appearing again, where you have orders. We are just going to categorize all of this into orders, right? You can see this one has manufacturing, this one has chemical. Since our data, if we are not covering all of that, we just take everything and put it into orders. So that's what we are going to do. That we're doing how to, okay, I'll just do it one more time because we are going to, there's a few more in this data. So I'm just going to do this. No, not here. Add column, conditional column. So the name of the column I want to use now is industry. Let's just say industry. Then select the column itself. That's what industry do you work in. Then equals, so is it equals we want to use? No, we are using contains. And if it contains what? The word order. Mindful that it is case sensitive. Then what you want to return is orders. And what you want to return is a column. which is that same column. What industry do you work in? Then use OK. Now you can see that this is much more better. We now have only the data we want, right? So you can just go ahead and remove is it, yes, it's, so yeah, you can now decide to go and drop it. Should be able to drop from here. Remove. Yep. So now we have removed it successfully. So that's like one of the ways to do it. Maybe because I'm explaining, that's why it's actually taking time, but it's actually it's way easy to use. Let me see. Okay, do you have any question? Are we following? Is it as simple as it is, or maybe because I'm the one that is doing it? I want to hear a response. Hey, I'm not the only one in the class now. Tito, Olakunle, Kingsley, Abdurrashid. Who else is here again? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going on? Are we still here? Are you following?
We are following. We're here.
Please. Okay, so now this is another one, another part. Uh, if you look closely at this, we have the single ones, but we have others. Now this other have SQL, right? Let's look at it. So we have we have Java, we have JavaScript, we have other, we have other language, like this is C sharp, this is DAX. This one is saying do require. This one is putting Excel slash SQL. So there are a lot of them. So we can try to even extract the ones that, for instance, this one has SAS, SQL. We can try to extract this, like get these particular ones that are saying others. Of course, we can just say we want to change everything to order. We want to remove all the order. But if you do that, you're going to have just Python, R, C++, Java, JavaScript, and other. That's like 6. So we can try that. Okay, let's see if we can do something. So let's just remove everything that way. So what we are going to do now is we are going to split this column. So you can actually split. We are going to split this column and we are going to split it. So to do split, you can come to transform and split column. So here is split column. So you can try to split this column. Now, if I want to split it, I'm going to split by what? So is it by delimiter or by number of characters? So number of characters is, let's say, the first ones, or let's say by positions, or by, so you can just pick anything. But what we are going to be using here is delimiter. Delimiter is like a symbol basically that separates something. And the symbol we are going to be using here, we are not using column. I think you are seeing it automatically, because if you check here, you can see that the other column R3, other column C sharp, other column DAX, right? So it's actually column. So Power BI is smart to actually figure that there's a delimiter that is column here. But you can try to change it. You are not restricted to it. You can try to change it, and if you have something that is custom, you can try to put it here, right? But since it has default, we're just going to use it. Then this part says, okay, so if there's a leftmost delimiter, for instance, let's say the leftmost delimiter means the one that is appearing at the left, right? The first one at the left. So if you have something like okay, wait, I think there's a space, there's custom here. Can I write here? Yes. So if you have something like A, S, D, or let me use SQL, R, Python. Sorry. comma Python. So now this is comma comma, these are delimiters. So using this example now, I can decide to say I want to separate using the leftmost delimiter. So this will take from the start from the left, so it will do it into two, SQL and this. Rightmost delimiter will pick from the most right, so that will be this and this. That's Python and this SQLR. Each occurrence of the delimiter will say, oh, at every occurrence, separate it, split it into a different column. That's what it means actually. So of course we are just going to use the leftmost. There's no, it's just one, right? That's going to be appearing. So whether you pick this, none of this is actually going to actually matter. So you can do okay, and now it has been splitted. So now we have Python, R, Python. You can see other. You can see SQL here. Now you can see that the data has been splitted, but you can see some people are still having issues. Some people that used words. If SQL is categorized as I don't know any SQL. Okay, this one says don't require. This one says knowledge of Excel. Is it knowledge of Excel and SQL yet? So I don't really know. But so what we can now do is we can now decide that, oh, all the order here, we want to remove it. So before then, I'm going to come here. Okay, so we want to now merge this back into this, like, because there are some people that actually had something, right? And it was, how should I put it? They had a particular skill, but it was not in the same category. For instance, I'm sure there's a lot of people that actually have SQL, right? You can see SQL. So what we can now do is we can decide that we want to merge this back into this. So we want to bring these two together. We want to have it as favorite programming language and favorite programming language too. I think this is where I need okay, let me just look a bit. Maybe I can find it. I need my history tab. What is it called again? It should be in this part. Let me see. Oh, is it down here? No, it's not help. This is help. Query settings. Yep, good. So here is it. So I want to undo this. Change type. Split column by delimiter. So what I want to do is I want to first of all duplicate it, right? Duplicate this. So I'm going to use duplicate column. So it has been duplicated to the very end. So we can even try to do a lot with it here. But let me see. Will I be able to move it? Okay. I want to see if I can move it back to. I want it beside. This is slower. Come on, can you move faster? So I want it to be beside the other one. Oh my goodness, this is way much slower. What's even the favorite programming language? That's Q5. Okay, here's it. So I'll just put it here. Now it's here now. So I'm going to work on this basically. So split column, split by delimiter. You can see the way I just came here. I didn't even bother to using hub. So that's one of the amazing thing about it. Then do this, and okay, and it's done. So now we have so you can see now we have Python hard we have null. So you can decide to remove all the nulls here. Actually want to do something, so you can remove all the nulls. So to do that, you're going to remove empty. Let me see. So we need to remove it. So you can definitely going to be here transform. So replace values. So we are replacing the value. replace value. So what values are we replacing? We're replacing null with empty. We don't want to put anything there actually, so it's now blank. So we have so we're also seeing that there are some people here that have SQL, mostly use SQL, but not all the primary language. So there's SQL here actually. There's SQL here. There's SQL here. There's SQL here. So there's actually a good number of people that actually have SQL tools, right? Although there's no SQL and Python, so it's one of the two. So we can actually try to do something about that. So now let's merge. Read merge first. So I want to actually bring anywhere we have SQL, anywhere we have order, and there's SQL on this, put SQL here. Like replace the column with SQL basically. So basically you are replacing the order with SQL. So if there's SQL, but first of all, we need to ensure that all of this where there's SQL is actually being replaced with SQL correctly. So what can we do? So first of all, you notice that the cases are not the same thing. There's uppercase, there's lowercase. So you can just say transform everything to uppercase. So transform uppercase. So everything stays in uppercase now. Now we can now extract the ones that have SQL. So how do we do that? How do we do it again? Okay, add column, conditional column. So what we want to do here is we can just call it SQL SQL2. I'm used to underscore. SQL2. So what's the column name we are selecting? We are picking it from here, the copy to. Oh, do we have, how many copies do we have? I think it's copy 2, yes. So from copy 2, then what do we want to do actually? We want to remove SQL. So for instance, this guy says mostly use SQL, but that's not programming. So we just want the SQL. So we are going to say if it contains SQL, then what should we put? Put SQL. So that if it contains SQL, put what? Put it as SQL. So we want this particular, once we just replace this, then else basically put what is there. Or do we even need what is there? Okay, let's just put it there. So else put the thing that was there before, or let's just say else remove. Should we remove it? Okay, let me say okay. It will let me go. Okay, because I didn't put anything, that's why I sent it as null. So I think I can come back to edit it. So I can say put space and okay. So it's now blank. So it's now just SQL. So everybody that has put SQL now has SQL. Now we want to replace this SQL into once we replace this SQL into this order, we want orders to be there because it has SQL, right? Actually this one is now useless to us. We don't need it again. We can just delete it. Remove column. So it's gone. We don't actually need it again. So what we need is the last one that we have. That's the new one that is called SQL2. So it means that those people have SQL. So what we now want to do is, or I think it's looking like a bit long, but let's just try to finish this. So what we now want to do is we want to remove, this is Python R order. So there are actually orders here. So if it is order, so now okay, what we are going to do, we are going to do a conditional column that if it is order and there's SQL in that one, then bring that value of SQL into this place, into the order. Replace the SQL with order. We can't just say, oh, replace order into this place because there are a lot of order here. There's a lot of order here, only order. But you know that it's not everybody on that SQL to that, not everybody that choose order that is using SQL. So we want to filter that out. So what we are going to do, you have to create a conditional column. Now we are now going to name it, let's see, let's now call it, let me just call it program. That's going to be the name of the tool. Now what we want to now do is we want to check the first column. So if, so you can actually add the clause. Okay, that's else if. Okay, so delete. So what we want to now do is we want to check this first one. Is it going to be able to allow us to check? And okay, this is where I miss Power Excel. So what I actually want to do, I want to see if it's possible, because I just thought about that one now, doing it that way. Usually you just replace it, right? But I want to see if we can just bring the one that have SQL into this place. So let's say if let me see. Okay, so let me see if the last column, what's the last column? What did I call it again? I think I call it programming 2 or SQL 2. I think I called it SQL 2. Why am I not seeing it here? Is it not there again? Oh wait. Oh, okay. So SQL2. So if SQL2 contains equals to, no, basically if it contains so what is it actually supposed to contain? It's supposed to contain SQL. So if it contains this value, then outputs this value. No, is that what we want to do? It's not coming. No. I guess they've carried it away from my head. Because I had it all figured out now. Let me see. ZSQL2. Okay, I'm supposed to say if the first one, that's what's it called, programming language, I think is this. No, I think is this. If this copy one, what's in copy one again? I think this is copy one. Copy one contains, okay, so if copy one contains order, if it contains order, okay, let me see. There's no way I can do and. Say I wanted to say if it contains order, the value is this order. Then so if it contains order in this column and in the next column it contains something, right? It's not coming. I guess I have to drop it for now. Let me just drop it for now. I guess I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll mention it later. Let's just drop it. But I think I'm close. I'm sure I'm close already. I know I'm very close to it. So we just come back to it maybe when I go back. And so this one, I think these ones are pretty much simple. All we need to do is just change the text, sorry, the column name. We can't use this column name. We have to find something. I don't want to do it now, it's going to take our time. So I think everything else here, although we are supposed to actually even check, you can see we have null. They are null. We do actually, so we're not supposed to even have null. Probably replace it with null means empty, so probably we want to remove that or just change it to something else, or 0, right? So empty is equivalent to 0 actually. So now this is another text data. How difficult was it for you to break into data? So we have difficult, easy, neither easy nor difficult, very difficult, or very easy. So we can decide to transform this and remove, where we have difficult, maybe change it to 5. So maybe like do this on the scale from 0 to 5. So it's going to be like 0 is very easy. Very difficult is 5. Then 2 is easy. Then 3 would then be neither easy nor difficult, something of sorts. We could do that. Then here, you were to look for a new job, what would it be? So the categories, this is another place again. So you can see here, I've seen all of the above. All of the above are important. Better salary, better culture, good work-life balance. The instruction will just pick one, then others. So we can just replace all of these and choose, put everything to order if it's under others. So to do that, you already know it's conditional column. Put the new column name. And what's that column name again? If you were to look for a new job today, what would be the what would be the what would be the what would be let me see what would be the most important thing to you? So what can we call it? What new column can we call it? To let's say motivation. Let me just call it motivation. I don't have a better name. That's somewhere Q8. Then so if it contains others, straight up it's now easier. I think it's order. I'm not sure. Can't see it. Really let me to select this. I'm not sure. I think it's order. Let me check. Let me confirm. So not okay. Just order, not others. So conditional column. Motivation. Sorry. Motivation. Column name is Q8. I guess equals to contains value to what's the value again? Order. Then give us others, and if it is still the column name, let it be a column. Let's be that's the result of that same column. And okay, so here we go now. So you can see it's sorry. So you can see it now. Better salary, good culture, work orders, remote work, simplified, no stress. So I think we can do the rest. So you already know the data is online. You can get it. You can just I'm going to probably do it off. It's something easy. So what I just want to do is for the column names, I'll probably re-edit it, right? Just change it. This is highest level of education. Wow, that means you have a lot of blanks. For me not to say anything here. So I can decide to say, oh, I want to replace all the blanks. Let me even see how many blanks are there. So that's quite a lot. So I can decide to do replace all, replace the blanks. So to do that, I'll just have to come to transform, then replace values. So when there's blank, put not specified. That's something we can do. Not specified, then okay. So you can see now we have just not specified PhD, masters, and the rest. Okay. So you can just do it for the rest and just check through. So for instance, this one now, they're asking for the country. Good. This is very awesome. So we would need, you can see all these countries now. Of course, this one is not well written. We can decide to extract the country. Now, if we were to do that, how would you go about it? Does anyone want to try? How would you go about it? Like we want to extract the country. You can see that there are actual countries. I'm seeing Poland, I'm seeing Portugal. At least there are two Portugal. Of course, it's not well written, so we probably need to replace values and edits. Then Romania, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Singapore. I'm guessing SG Singapore. Um, Tunisia, UAE, USB. I don't know USB. Oh, that's UZB. I don't know what USB UZB looks like USB. So then we have UK, we have United States. So probably that's like the location. So like the four things that they actually said, just Canada, India, and UK and US, and the rest and others. So every other one falls under others. So so I think, let me see, is it 44 already? So okay, maybe we start up from here. You guys can sit and think about it. Like nobody's commenting anything. So you can just figure out what we can do about this, how we can extract the country itself, right? I think I'm seeing something close to it. Although there are some that are not, like say we don't know if it's Austria or Australia, but we are going to assume is, should we assume? No, we can't assume. We just have to remove it. Now this is like, it might not be might not be perfect. So maybe in case where we have Austria like this, now we'll just replace with other. Then maybe places that we can't actually see very well, we'll just put other there basically. So let's just play with it and see what we can do with it, right? Then I think we're going like this. I think the rest is just this current age too, we can do something with it. So we should try to not use, let's try to place this into more of like categories. I think we did it in SQL where we had a group of ages. So is it old age? Is it young age? Is it, sorry, I think that works. Like middle age, old age, and young age. Is it young age or youth? Or teenager or teenage? I don't know what to call it. So we are supposed to be able to group that. Maybe let me just highlight it. One of the things we just talk about. Then male, female. Okay, I think we've done this. Remote work. We'll still drop it. Then this also, difficulty, we'll deal with it. And yeah, so basically that's it. So are there any questions? So we close. Any question? Anybody? Okay, so if there are no questions, then I think we can call it a night. So just to give us something to work on, so you can decide to take this data professional survey and try to work on it, like probably use Power Query to transform it into something that you can use for analysis. So that would be a good one. That would be a good place to start from. So you can just try, or you could even try to go to the web, any website you feel like, put it in Power BI and try to get data, try to get the table and work on it. And yeah, you can even go straight into visualization. You can, let me see, I can close and transform this. So I'm just closing and apply. So to apply all what we have done so far into this. Of course, it's not the best. We still have some things to do with. We need to even rename it. But so you can see the data here. Then you can just go to the visualization tab and take some take some data and just push it in, right? So you could actually do that. So yes, so I said I wanted to mention, okay, since there's no question and we are actually done for today. So what I just wanted to chip in was, there's this conference that is coming up soon. So if you have chance, you could attend. Actually, still next month. That's October, I think October 14th. It's on a Friday. It's a Friday over. It's not over. Sorry, it's a 2-day program. So Friday and Saturday, and it's for data enthusiasts, data engineers, data analysts, data scientists, everything related to data, and people that are more interested in getting into the field. So it's a conference where everybody can come to. There's going to be a lot of sessions. You're going to learn a lot from it. Professionals, students, every category are welcomed. So you are all invited, and you can get to me. So I don't want to post it on the group, so I don't know if I should do that. So it's something we can all come to attend. So if you are interested in coming, you can message me, and yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. So yeah, I mean, so we are done. So good night, everyone. Have a wonderful night.